Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Patton Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Okay, y'all. Hope your Monday's off to an awesome start. Saints win. They beat the Bears 24-17. I did an immediate post-game reaction video on YouTube for those that saw it. Appreciate that you watching and tuning in. I am impossibly conflicted because I am the guy who always says you never apologize for how you win in the NFL. And you shouldn't. It is really hard to win in the NFL. Good teams lose all the time. Everybody gets paid. Everybody's a professional. It's why the Any Given Sunday mantra plays, because it's true. However, the way that yesterday transpired is so concerning because if you had told me that the Bears had a great game plan, came into New Orleans, played really well, and hung with the Saints, and the Saints found a way to win it. Okay, I mean, I could completely get down with that. What's hard to reconcile is the fact that you were +5 in the turnover margin. Say it again. You were +5 in the turnover margin. +5 at home. +5 in the turnover margin at home against a rookie quarterback making his third ever start. +5 at home against a rookie quarterback making his third ever start, who is a backup rookie quarterback. It's not like you were facing the number 1 pick in the draft, or C.J. Stroud, the number 3 pick in the draft, who clearly is a stud. And you found yourself hanging on for dear life at the end of that game because your coach is a moron. Saints' slow starts defensively continued again. You were tied at 14 at the half. Clearly, again, you made the wrong decision by keeping Blake Groupie. He doinked one with an opportunity to make it a 2-score game late. But just minutes before then, after Marcus May had one of the 3 interceptions that you got on the day, and you had a short field, and you're up 7 in the fourth quarter with about 7 minutes to go, and you have an opportunity to kick a field goal to make it a 2-score game, instead you go for it on 4th down from the 20. Hang on. Tell you exactly where they were on the field. Fourth and 1 at the Chicago 17. So that would have been a 34-yard field goal. You're up 24-17. You have a chance to make, with 7:52 to play in the ball game, you have a chance to kick a 34-yard field goal to make it a 2-score game with under 8 minutes to play against a team that has already turned the ball over 4 times on the day. 3 times on the day. And you pass on the field goal for what? What am I missing? It's not like a field goal would have kept it a 1-score game. Like a field goal would have made it a 2-score game. Instead, you go for it because you're a moron. Man. there is such a thing as winning in spite of yourself, and that's what the Saints did on Sunday. They won in spite of Dennis Allen. Tyson Bagent threw for more yards than your $150 million quarterback. Thank God Paulson Adebo showed up to play. Paulson Adebo accounted for 3 turnovers, 7 tackles, 2 interceptions, forced the fumble, beautiful punch out on DJ Moore. Moore was kind of held up, and a beautiful punch by Adebo, punched the ball out, recovered the fumble. It was awesome. I'd like to give a game ball to Mike Triplett, because Mike Triplett pointed out the stat last week that the Saints are 17-1 all time when Taysom Hill has at least 7 carries. So clearly, the New Orleans Saints coaching staff listens to the media. Saw that earlier this year when they benched Trevor Penning, and when they put more motion in the offense, and now Mike Triplett starts pointing out that the Saints are 17-1 when Taysom Hill has at least 7 rushing attempts in a game. And Taysom Hill yesterday, 11 rushes, 52 yards, a long of 14. He was 1 of 1 passing for 3 yards. It was a touchdown pass. Hill also had 4 receptions, including a touchdown reception. So game ball goes to Mike Triplett for pointing out the need to get Taysom Hill more involved in the offense. And so now the Saints are 18-1 when Taysom Hill carries the ball at least 7 times. So anyway, and then probably the Minnesota Vikings with Joshua Dobbs at quarterback rally to beat the Falcons, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost yesterday as well, as did Carolina, who stinks anyway. But all of that means that your New Orleans Saints are alone at 5-4, are alone atop the NFC South. Saints at 5-4, the Falcons at 4-5, the Bucs at 3-5, and the Panthers at 1-7. So you have the inside track to win a bad division and make the playoffs, and have the right to be beaten by a legitimate contender in round 1. So we'll see. All right, let's say some good mornings. See what y'all got. You know the drill. Fire away. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. We appreciate everybody for being there. Tim Gotro, Nick Newbill, Dalton Barnett, top of the morning. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Strong Side, good morning. How's the family? We're good, man. Thank you very much. Drew got invited to a birthday party yesterday for a kiddo in his class, Emma Grace. So we went to Emma Grace's birthday party. It was at 11 a.m., so I DVR'd the game. So I got home by the time I caught up, it was right at the start of the second half. So watched the second half live. Bailey C., the Saints winning is like a drunk guy stumbling through an open doorway. They can never be convincing in winning. Thomas Lamont, morning, Matt. Great win for the Saints players. Tough to beat another NFL team and your head coach at the same time. Yeah, man. I do feel good for the players, and the shame of it is that there are things on this roster that are really good. It was very good to see Chris Olave get going yesterday. He has been the Saints' leading targeted receiver, but in the past few weeks, he had just been a little bit of a funk. But yesterday, 6 catches for 46 yards, including a touchdown. Again, had the most targets with 8. Taysom was your leading rusher. It was nice to see you not have to ride Alvin Kamara for 20-some-odd carries, 9 for 26. Kamara had 4 catches for 44 yards. Juwan Johnson got in the end zone. How about Jimmy Graham, a healthy scratch yesterday? Remind me why you brought that guy out of retirement. A healthy scratch, whatever. But yes, it was good to see. So there's things you like, man. I mean, actually, Andrus Peat is playing pretty well at left tackle right now for you. Demario Davis led your team in tackles yesterday. Paulson Adebo played a great game. Marcus May came up with a phenomenal interception. Tyron gave up the touchdown, the first touchdown to Cole Kmet. But Granderson was awesome again. 5 tackles, a TFL, had a big quarterback hit. He was great. How about the effort from Colin Saunders? I mean, maybe the most impressive play of the day was who was it from the Bears that kind of broke free for the long one? It might have been Mooney. He had the one on the sideline. He cut back in, and Colin Saunders caught him 30 yards downfield. And then, of course, Saunders, they're using him in the jumbo package around the goal line, which is funny to see. I guess my point is, there's a lot of guys. Granderson's playing great. Brian Brzee had a couple of nice defensive plays yesterday as well. Brzee ended up, he only had maybe one, he had 2 tackles, but he did bat a ball at the line of scrimmage. I guess my point is, there's a lot of things to like on this team. There's a lot of good players. I mean, it's why they're favored to win. It's why they got a winning record and they're favored to win the South and all that stuff. But the things, it's just very clear, the things that you need to go from, a good team that can win a bad division to a contending team, you don't have. You don't have a championship level quarterback. Your head coach is a liability. You're bad on special teams. Craig Duga, Brand Roban, good morning. With this being the worst defense in LSU history, which way does it lean heavier? Lack of talent or coaching? Unbelievable that Milroe ran at will all night. Brent, is it really unbelievable? I mean, I thought it was quite believable that Milroe ran at will. It's the LSU defense. It's I'm not surprised at all that happened. I figured that's exactly the type of game we're going to have to see, is that you're going to have to win a game in the upper 30s or low 40s. I mean, it's just, all the talk last week about the injuries, and it wasn't going to matter. They didn't score 42 because Zy Alexander wasn't there. They scored 42 because you stink on defense. You stunk when Zy was there. So, Steve Menard, good morning, Matt. I think a lot of us had the same reaction. Dennis Allen was absolutely bailed out by a spectacular individual defensive play and bad second half quarterback on their part. I think that's right, Steve. Brian Broom, John Hendricks, good morning. Ira Fields, +5 in the turnover margin. Anyone else in the NFL would have won by at least 2 touchdowns. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Let's see, do you think the Saints players get frustrated with these coaching decisions? Sure they do. Especially veterans, man. Guys like Cam Jordan who, knows that his clock, his professional clock, and his opportunity to win a Super Bowl is ticking. Let's see, Mark Bayard. Good morning from Tampa. Man, I wish they kicked the field goal at the end to cover. I did not have a play on the Saints. I do not play. So I tell you, I did play the over in the LSU game just because that felt so obvious, and that hit, obviously, but. Vernell Thomas, our offense sucks. Pete Carmichael led. I was a little more encouraged yesterday. It was creative. I love seeing getting Kendra Miller involved. Nice swing pass down the left side. They used Taysom more. I like getting Juwan Johnson involved in the red zone. I like throwing the ball to Taysom. I mean, there's a lot of things that they did yesterday that were good. It's just there's no reason at all that it should have even been that close. Yeah, I saw the stat on Taysom. So Taysom, 10 rushing, 10 passing, 10 receiving touchdowns. That hadn't been done since Frank Gifford in the 60s. Kenneth Westbrook, would Dennis Allen be the coaching version of the LSU defense? Dale Broussard, LSU defensive staff needs a complete overhaul. Yeah, that's going to happen. Vernell, good morning, Scone. LSU defense and Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael, Dennis Carr will cause a heart attack. Yeah, I almost tweeted yesterday like I miss, especially in the first half when Tyson Bagent was going up and down the field. I mean, the Bears outgained you yesterday. It's crazy. The Bears with Tyson Bagent came into the Dome and outgained you. 368 to 301. Whatever. But anyway, I almost tweeted when it was in the first half when they were going up and down the field and you couldn't stop Bagent from running to convert third downs and everything. I miss when the state of Louisiana used to play defense. Those were the days. Brian Williams, the Saints healed my LSU broken heart. Larry Gardner, Paul Guidry, Lewis Mathern. Thanks for being the voice of frustrated Saints fans. You know, Lewis, I mean, here's the other part of it that's super disappointing. You're going to win enough. This is going to sound stupid, so I want to come back and qualify it, but you're going to win enough that Dennis Allen doesn't get fired. Now, I understand the irony there because we all want our team to win, and so arguing that winning is a bad thing is ironic. Because doing the thing that we're all hoping to do, win, is actually a bad thing for your organization. I would love to be wrong. Like, I would love if they win enough, get into the postseason, and just get scorched earth hot and go win the Super Bowl. I would love to see that. I just don't believe that's going to happen. Could it happen? Sure. Again, we'll all point to the 07 Giants as the great outlier. A 9-7 team. It was a wild card team that went on and beat the Packers in Brett Favre's final game in Lambeau, and then shout out Corey Webster, and then went and beat the undefeated 18-0 New England Patriots. So yes, it can happen. Is it likely to happen? No. So that's the disappointing part. It's like you're gonna win enough to create a false sense of confidence. But I just don't see him getting over that hump with Dennis Allen. Anyway. All right, smash that like button if you would there on YouTube, please. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. Got the HUDCO link pinned there. Would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Jesse Brown, good morning. I talk about the Saints. I fear a rant like yesterday. Dax Jeter, do you see LSU firing Matt House? The in-season thing is interesting because USC did fire Alex Grinch yesterday, their defensive coordinator. And usually if you make a change like that, the reason, it's like when LSU made the decision midseason to fire Ed Ogeron, it gives you cover to go start your search. Meaning you don't have to use your intermediaries to snoop around to start asking about candidates' interest. Everybody knows you're looking for a replacement, so you can have those conversations with representatives openly. Now, like Brian Kelly's, let's hypothetically, let me not use a hypothetical. Let me use USC because that's a literal. I don't think that Lincoln Riley is going to be calling defensive coordinator candidates during the season while they're coaching in other places. But I do believe that whoever is operating in that spot, be it an athletic director, an agent, whatever it may be, could certainly call on potential coaching candidates, agents, or representatives to say, hey, we're looking for a DC. Would so-and-so have interest at the end of the season? I think that starts, and it gives you the cover to do that. So if you are going to make that move, then, I think that makes sense. The flip side of it is, do you feel like you have a better option on staff or an option on staff if you do make that change? The thing with LSU specifically is Bob Diaco was Brian Kelly's defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. Did a great job there and got the head coaching job at UConn as a result. So Bob Diaco has been a defensive coordinator under Brian Kelly. And then John Jancic as well. John's been a DC. Tennessee, at Georgia. John has been a DC at Wayne State, Hillsdale, Grand Valley with Brian Kelly. Actually, that was after Kelly left. DC at Georgia, Cincinnati, Tennessee, Colorado State. So my point is, like, you have two very, very qualified defensive coordinator candidates on your staff. So if you did want to move on from Matt House, again, I'm not saying they will or should, mid-season. I think sometimes as fans we get caught up in that, and often overlook, like, okay, well, what happens if you do make that change mid-season? How does it affect you the rest of the way? And is it fair to the current players to have that kind of disruption mid-season? You still have 3 games left and a lot to play for. You got Florida, you've got Georgia State and then A&M. If you win out, you go 9-3, 6-2 in the conference, and you're staring at a good bowl destination and a strong finish for the season and all that sort of stuff. But is it fair to have that type of disruption for the current players, or is it a benefit to the current players to try to give them a better chance? Now, look, if they were going to do it, they would have already done it. They're not going to, now it's already in a Monday of a game week. You're not making that change now, but so I don't, look, if you go out this week against Florida and Florida comes in here and puts up 500 yards and 40 points, could you do it before Georgia State? Yeah, that would make more sense. Matt Plavidal, good morning, Matt. Still upset about the Bama game, but being a fan since the 80s, I've seen this a lot. Hope the defense gets figured out. Nick Newbill, women's basketball, men's and women's basketball tip off tonight. Gorilla, good morning. Brad David, looking back, the loss to Green Bay is so frustrating. The Saints could have a really good record. Green Bay and Houston. Tiger Diver, if you're Brian Kelly, who are you getting for your defensive coordinator next year? I'll continue to say Jim Leonard would be my first choice. Jim Leonard's been at Wisconsin. Now he's an alum there, but does that give him potential opportunity of advancement? Maybe, probably, but that would be my first call. Then you got to see who else is available. Trivia Carter, Terry McCain. Carr's not aggressive enough to me. Jesse Brown, I'll ask about the Tigers. Why was the player that hit Daniels on a dirty play clearly targeting, not out of the game? They said they reviewed it and it was not targeting. I would love a further explanation. Tim Gotro, look in the short term, I'm happy with the win. This team is obviously trending in the wrong direction over the next several seasons, and wins like yesterday reinforce it. Tara Walker, do you think it's best for Nuss to play Florida and Jayden finish the year, especially A&M? No, Tara, I would say, look, if Jayden's healthy and available, he's going to play against Florida, and I want him to play against Florida. If he's in the concussion protocol, or if they deem he has a concussion, which they did. Remember, being in the concussion protocol and you're being evaluated for concussion is different than having one. And anyway, so if Jayden's good to go, that's awesome. I would love that for him. Have an opportunity to finish the season with these final 3 games and play really well at home. Good morning from Homestead. Taking care 2 sick babies today. Hope our day is better than last night. When should we hear about Daniels? Weston, so we should get an update from Brian Kelly today at noon. It'll be the first thing he says. So we'll have a better idea today. Gorilla, are we not talking Tigers? Honest question. You can ask whatever you want, man. Morning Scone is sort of an open forum. But the Saints played yesterday, and so we spent the whole morning Scone yesterday talking about the Bama game, and we'll talk a lot about Bama today on AFR. But yeah, morning Scone's open for him, man. Ask whatever you want. James McKinney, good morning. Eric Wilderrider, I think we can agree if we win the division, Allen is retaining his job. Yeah, for sure. Therefore, shouldn't we be actively hoping we lose every game? No, for the long-term health of the franchise. But that's just it, Eric. So that's kind of the irony. Like, I don't want that. I would rather they win every game. I would rather that Dennis Allen figures it out, they win every game, and they go on and go on a run in the playoffs. That's what I would rather see happen. I would rather be wrong. Like, I'm not going to root against my team. I want them to win every game they play forever. But I also have to be honest in saying that I don't believe that they're going to win anything of significance with Dennis Allen. And you continue to see a lot of red flags. Like Jerry points out, yes, the Saints are in first place. The Falcons and Bucs both lost yesterday. The Saints won. The Saints are alone in first place in the division. And now you go to Minnesota, which just beat Atlanta. Impressive comeback there, too. Josh Dobbs being there for like 5 days and leading that comeback. But this is a winnable game for you as well on the road in Minnesota. So, if you win this one, you're 6-4 going into your bye, and then you got a road game at Atlanta, which is winnable. So, your schedule is we talked about it, it's one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Your quarterback matchups are super manageable. You just got to find some consistency, which has been a struggle for this team. All right, a few more here. Hunter Broadhead, Matt, good morning. Can't believe they tried the quarterback sneak with Derek Carr. If you're going to do it, put Taysom Hill in the game. You're going to go for it on 4th and 1 from the Chicago 17 with 7 minutes to play when you're up 7, and a chip shot field goal will put you up 2 scores. And you eschew the field goal that's going to put you up 2 scores with under 8 to play instead to go for it pointlessly. At least put Taysom Hill in the game. Guy Brooks, good morning, Matt. Saints one didn't change my opinion of our offense or Dennis Allen. He's not good. Chris P, just like Guy, for the LSU fans, your defensive performance against Auburn and Army should not have given you any sense of confidence. And try to talk about that if you did have confidence as a result of that, it was a false confidence. Rooted in the fact that you played well defensively against completely inept offensive teams. And when you went up against an offense with good talent, you saw what happened. Florida's interesting because I don't think Florida has really good talent, but LSU defensively is bad. So how does this week go will be interesting. Same with A&M. Let's see. I got 1 more minute. All right. Guy Brooks, Brian Kelly. Yes, Brian Kelly has a presser today. He'll update Jayden, I'm sure, at noon. All right, y'all. YouTube, do me a favor. Please smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel. Phil Smith. All right. Phil Smith was our winner. Went to the Bama game, courtesy of Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Had a great time. Good deal, man. Absolutely. Thank our friends at Mockler. They're the best. John Cunningham, what's up with Mike Thomas yesterday? Yeah, wasn't a huge part of the game plan. I know he was battling an illness. All right, y'all. Mark Bacon, Brant Roban, David Jenkins. If Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, does the committee leave the Bulldogs out? A one-loss Georgia. It really depends. Do you have 3 other undefeated conference champions? If you have an undefeated Big Ten, an undefeated Florida State, and an undefeated Washington, for example, then Georgia would be out, yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Okay, I got to go. Got to get Drew up and get him to school. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. We'll get you LSU Daily here in a little bit. And AFR 3. Y'all have a great day. Peace.